Hello everyone, my name is Horace, and in this video we're going to be going through LeetCode number 49, group anagrams. For this problem, we're given an array of strings, and we have to group the anagrams together, and we can return them in any order. So first let's define what an anagram is. It's basically rearranging a letters of a word or a phrase, and we get the same letters or use the same letters as another word. So for example, we can have the word eat. So this word consists of an E, an A, and a T, but this is an anagram with the word tea because this word also uses a T, an E, and an A. They're just rearranged, so this is why we consider them to be anagrams. Okay, now that we know what an anagram is, we have to figure out how to find all the anagram groups. Okay, let's consider this array of strings. So we're given 6 different words: eat, tea, tan, ate, gnat, and bat. And we have to group the different anagrams. And the way we can do that is by obviously looking at each of the letters. Now, we know and we explained in the previous example that eat and tea are already anagrams, so they would be grouped together. We also know that ate is an anagram of these, or it's in the same group because it uses the same letters. So these three words would be in the same group. Then we also see that the words an and the words gnat are going to be in the same group because they both use the letters T, A, and N. That just leaves the word bat, and this is not going to be paired up or grouped with any other letter, so it's just going to be in a group by itself. So if we write out the grouped array, it's going to look like this. And we see that bat is on its own, the tan and nat words are together, and then the remaining 3 words are together. So the easiest way to keep track of each of the letters in a word is by using some sort of either hash map and using an array of a length of 26 for each of the different letters. And we can increment each value in the array by 1, representing or not if we've seen a letter. So if we say we see E, then E is the 5th letter in the alphabet. So if we have some array that has, let's say, 26 different values that it can take on, representing each letter count, we would increment the 5th one by +1. Then if we take a look at A, we would increment the first one because A is going to represent or correspond to the first element in the array. Then we can simply take this list and turn it into a tuple so it's immutable, and that means we can store it as a key in a hash map. And let's say we look up and we find another word, let's say eat. It's going to have the exact same tuple representation because it has the same letters. That means we can just look up this tuple value in the hash map and append the current string that we're looking at. Then finally, in this hash map, we're just going to have a list of values. So we just return the values from the hash map. So it's quite a simple solution to this problem. So the time complexity for this algorithm is going to be big O of m plus n. Now m is going to represent the number of strings in the strings array, and n is going to be the longest string in the strings array. The space complexity is going to be big O of m, since We're just updating the array based upon each string's counts or frequency of its letters. So with that being said, we can go ahead and write the code on LeetCode. Okay, we're on LeetCode and we can start writing the solution. What I'm going to do is use a default dictionary so we don't have to worry about if the key is not in the dictionary or something like that. It just avoids this check. So we can say the result is going to be default dictionary and it's a list. Then what we want to do is we want to loop over each of the strings in the strings array. So we can do for string, or I'll just type s in strings. Then we'll initialize some frequency array. So frequency is going to have a length of 26 because there's 26 different letters in the alphabet from A to Z, lowercase. And we know that each of the words are going to be only in lowercase. Then what we can do is we can loop over the individual letters for the word. So for character in S, then what we want to do is we want to increment each of the corresponding elements in the array. So let's say we find an A, then we want to increment basically frequency 0 because A is pointing to the first element. Similarly, let's say if we have Z, we're going to update frequency 25. So we're updating the frequency array. So what we'll do is we'll take the frequency and the ASCII value of whatever character we're looking at, and we want to basically subtract it from A because A is going to bring it down to 0. If it is A, and if it's Z, it's going to be 25. So it brings it within the range of 0 to 25. And then we simply want to increment the frequency by 1. Then what we want to do is we want to convert it into a tuple so it's immutable. And we can do this by casting it as a tuple and then appending the string. And result is going to be a hash map of lists. So it's going to basically look like this. And we have a key, and the value is going to be some list. Finally, we can return the result values because they're all going to be a list of lists, and that's what we want. So this is the solution, and let's run it. Great, it's accepted, and you can see that it works fine. So with that being said, hopefully this video helped you and you learned something, and I'll see you soon.